Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Happy New Month. My last time of coming here was 2 months ago exactly. Yeah, I was here on the 4th of January, first Sunday of January, and shared some words with you. I think on that occasion, I promised that I was going to do a follow-up presentation on that presentation I made that day. That was a presentation on the topic of resemblance, tradition, and lineage. And I said it was a huge topic. I mean, resemblance, tradition, lineage. It's a whole huge topic, teaching of our true parents. This topic was the presentation that True Father made to President Goodluck Jonathan in 2011. He spoke for 30 minutes. He gave a summary of this whole, but that's this content, resemblance, tradition, lineage is huge. In fact, it comprises everything that true parents are teaching in the divine principle. So on that 4th of January, I think I spent the sermon time here presenting to you on resemblance. And I promised that I was going to do a follow-up on the next subtopic, which is tradition. So today I will talk about tradition, according to the teachings of our beloved true parents. What is tradition? Tradition is a system of beliefs or behaviors, what they call folk custom, passed down within a group of people or society with symbolic meaning or special significance with origins in the past. This is tradition. Tradition provides a sense of connection, linking individuals across generations and cultures, and fostering a shared sense of belonging, whether through family beliefs or family rituals or cultural festivals or festivities. They create a thread that ties us to our roots and to each other. That's what tradition is all about. So when we speak about tradition, there are some words, according to this definition I have given just now. There are some words that come out as we speak about tradition. One is custom, the other is culture. When you speak about tradition, your mind goes to custom or culture. Those three words are interrelated, but we must understand the distinction between them. What is custom? What is tradition? What is culture? Sometimes we mix all of them together. We say something is a custom, or something is a tradition, or something is a culture, and we don't know the difference. But actually there are differences between custom, tradition, and culture. We can look at the differences from 4 perspectives, or four features. The main focus, time period, and the scale, or what comes out, the vibe. In terms of focus, custom focuses on current behavior or current habits, while tradition is long-term historical continuity. Then culture is everything. Culture is the entire people's way of life, whether custom or tradition or whatever. Everything is included in culture, okay? In terms of duration, custom can be short-term or modern, while tradition must span generations, something that happens from generation to generation. Culture is indefinite. Because culture is indefinite, culture is always evolving, developing, because it includes what is happening now, what happened in the past. So culture is always developing. In terms of scale, custom is something specific, like bowing. We bow, right? We do kyombe. That's a custom because it's very specific, something we do. When we see somebody, we meet somebody, we can greet by shaking hand. It's a custom. Or some people don't shake hands with women. It's a custom. Whereas tradition has a broad, is something broad, something wide. For example, any kind of festivity, like our marriage blessing, is a tradition. It's not a custom because it is bigger. It contains many things. The marriage blessing contains many things that we do inside it. So it's a tradition. While culture is the totality of everything, total environment. You can speak about Western culture or Oriental culture or Yoruba culture or Igbo culture or whatever. That is the total of everything that those set of people do. You can talk about heavenly culture, and I'm going to talk about that. Then in terms of the vibe, in custom, we can say, okay, this is how we do things here. And in terms of tradition, you can say, this is how our ancestors have been doing things. Tradition, you are referring to your ancestors because they are things that you inherited from your ancestors. While culture refers to, this is who we are. In other words, the community, the individuals in the community, in the whole area, they imbibe all the customs and tradition. That's whom they are. That's their identity, whom they are. I take time to make this distinction so that we can understand what we are talking about when we are focusing on tradition. Are these things important? Yes, very, very important. As individuals, we don't live our lives in isolation from other people. As individuals, we are interconnected. First of all, we are connected in our families. We are connected to our ancestors. Back. The things that we inherited from our ancestors, the way of life and everything. We are connected with people around us. And that kind of connection is very, very, very important. And it is very fundamental to sustenance of our being. It's very important for the definition of our identity, of myself, who am I? It's very important even for my own spiritual and physical security. When I was a young man, there is something that shocked me that happened. One experience that I witnessed. At that time, I think I was in my very early 20s. I was working with the Radio Nigeria, Port Harcourt, here in Port Harcourt. And I used to have one colleague who, we were working together. This my particular colleague, he was working in the program department. I was working in the engineering. But we work together in the studios there. Some of us are engineers, some of us are producers, some of us are announcers, presentation officers, and so on. This gentleman, he was in the production department. He also had a kind of schedule whereby he didn't come to work every day because he also had an engagement with the Rivers State Council for Arts and Culture. These arts and culture people, they normally do dancing and singing. If there's something happening in government house or government want to do something, they will travel somewhere with the government people and they will go and perform. And he also does drama. So while he's working with us, he's also part of that Rivers State Council for Arts and Culture. He used to go work with them. So sometimes we will see him for some days. He might have gone for his Arts and Culture program. And then he will come back like that. So we are used to not seeing him for some days, and afterward he appears. He comes to do his production. After his production, he will go like that. Then one time we never saw him for like 3 weeks, up to a month. It was becoming unusual. What happened to this young man? Did he travel? Did they go for arts and culture? But sometimes we see his colleagues in town. Port Harcourt is a small place. Or was a small place. I'm talking about like 40 years, more than 40 years ago. Sometimes we will see some of his colleagues around, but he was nowhere to be seen. He was not coming to work. Then later on, the news reached us that he had died. What happened? How did he die? Oh, well, he was living in town, one of those houses in town. He was living there. And he had his one room. in one of the houses in town. From some time, the people in the yard, in the compound, began to perceive odor of dead body. And people began to wonder, where is this dead body? And every day the odor becomes stronger and stronger. And when you pass by his door, the odor becomes very, very strong. This is after like more than 1 week, up to more than even 2 weeks. The odor becomes very, very strong. Oh, this odor is coming from this room, but the room is locked. They tried this thing is locked, and it's like it's locked from inside. So they broke the door, and he was there, lying on his bed, dead. Nobody knows what happened to him. Nobody knows when he died. Nobody knows anything. It was in January. Somebody had heard him say before the new year that this new year that is entering, he will not talk to anybody, he will not deal with anybody, he will not have anything to do with anybody. That is his resolution for New Year. He doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody. Somebody had him say something like this. Did he commit suicide? Was he sick? And because he had decided he will not talk to anybody, he didn't tell anybody, and nobody knows how and why he died. And he stayed in his room, locked in his room, and he died inside his room and got getting rotten. The news reached us and we were so shocked. I still remember that. I cannot forget that incident. Okay, this young man, his father died when he was very young. I don't know exactly how old he was, but he was not up to 6 years old when his father died. His father is Yoruba, and his mother is from Rivers State here. Then he grew up in Port Harcourt with his mother. Then later on, I think when he was already quite grown up, his mother died. So he was, really like, he didn't have with him at that time, his father, his mother. Of course, he had a senior brother who was our boss in Radio Nigeria there. I think it was his elder brother that brought him to work with us. But that elder brother is not the same mother with him. They are the same father, but not the same mother. His mother was like the junior wife or something that the man just met here in Rivers State, and they gave birth to him. So this young man didn't have strong family ties. He didn't have strong community ties. And maybe he's not even connected with his Yoruba people community here in Port Harcourt, or neither was he connected with his mother's native people here in Port Harcourt. He was just going about by himself. That's very dangerous. Young people, it's very dangerous. It's a dangerous idea to think that, you don't want to have anything to do. I can just go about by myself. It's a very dangerous idea. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's a very dangerous idea. That is why tradition is very important. To inherit tradition. Now everybody, all the people, they have one tradition or the other, one place or the other that they are connected to. You have to have something like that. Are you with me? And the basic place where you are most connected to is your family. Your what? Your family. And your family have inherited from their ancestors, their ancestral tradition, and they are living by it. It's important for the protection and the stability of the individual. If you disconnect from that, and you just want to be by yourself, it's very dangerous. You will be in a state of what they call alienation. Yeah, alienation means disconnection. You are disconnected. And in nature, nothing is disconnected. Everything has a connection. So the individual who decided that he wants to disconnect with everybody, that's what's going to happen. You see how that young man died. I never forget that. How that young man died, getting rotten. Nobody knew. Only when the smell was filling everywhere. That's when they broke the door. This is really, really a very, very important topic. Tradition. That's why true parents' teaching about tradition is so critical. According to true parents' teaching, tradition is rooted in building ideal God-centered families to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Are you? Yes. For true parents and for our community, This is tradition. So true parents are the pioneers of what we call the heavenly tradition. I spoke here, okay, we may have a Yoruba tradition, Igbo tradition, Hausa tradition, whatever tradition you may have. Are those traditions heavenly tradition? No. Is heavenly tradition important? So how can we have heavenly tradition? Who brings the heavenly tradition? True parents. True parents are the one bringing the heavenly tradition. And that's what all of us must inherit. We must inherit the heavenly tradition of true parents. The heavenly tradition is a tradition of unconditional sacrificial love to restore humanity from a fallen lineage to God's lineage. When true parents began their mission, the most important thing, I think I mentioned this last time in the last lecture on resemblance. True parents are the ones who discovered the heart of God, the true heart of God. Joy at the time God created the universe. God was so pleased, so happy. Then the next is the broken heart of God when the fall took place, when Adam and Eve fell. God's heart was broken. Then after the fall, God undertook the task of restoration. And it has been a sorrowful period for God. A sorrowful heart of the heavenly parent in the cause of restoration. True parents show his heart of God. True father, true mother. Their testimonies about understanding and inheriting the heart of God is so consistent. This is what we must inherit. So therefore, there are two aspects of tradition. There is the internal aspect of tradition. There is also the external aspect of tradition, heavenly tradition. Today, as I said, the topic is a huge topic. I won't be able to cover everything about tradition today, all right? I will only talk about the internal aspect of heavenly tradition. The external aspect of heavenly tradition, next time when we meet, let's hope that, it will be not too far from now. I didn't know that we're going to meet today to talk about tradition at all. But anyway, God will help us. We will meet. Aju? So today, let's talk only about the internal aspect of heavenly tradition. Everything in the universe has dual aspect, internal and external. So tradition also have dual aspect, internal tradition or internal aspect of heavenly tradition and external aspect of heavenly tradition. Today, we are talking about the internal. One most important aspect of our internal heavenly tradition is that true parents as the Messiah embody and teach the heavenly tradition. Any person who is a member of this our heavenly parent holy community, the first thing, most important thing that we understand is that true parents are the Messiah. And true parents embody and teach the heavenly tradition. In our own tradition, Messiah is not one person. Messiah is not only the man. Messiah is the man and the woman, true father and the true mother. Both of them together are the Messiah. Not only the true father, true mother also is Messiah. That's what we understand. That's what we believe. That's what it is. That's our tradition. True parents are the Messiah, and they embody and teach the heavenly tradition. The heavenly tradition are true parents' tradition. That's one. The next point is that true family ideal is realized through the holy marriage blessing as the cornerstone to create families free from the fallen lineage. That's why everybody must go through the blessing. Last time I emphasized this, didn't I? And I explained about how in the mind of true mother, anybody she meets, her heart is, how can this person receive the blessing? That's the heart of true mother. Because through the blessing, that person can receive salvation, which means being out from the satanic lineage onto God's lineage. That's what God wants for everybody. Heavenly parent, our heavenly parent, what our heavenly parent wants for Every single person in this universe is to come from the satanic lineage to belong to Heavenly Parents' lineage. That's the concern of our beloved true mother. When we move to heavenly lineage, our task is to establish true family, the true family ideal. That's number 2. Number 3, living for the sake of others. What true parents always emphasize as true love is investing one's entire being without expecting a return, doing my best to fulfill the 3 great blessings and helping others do the same. I must fulfill the 3 great blessings to be fruitful. What is that? Maturity of my own character as a person, as a child of God, and establish this ideal family that true parents are talking about. Have dominion over all things. 3 great blessings. What God expected Adam and Eve to do in the beginning, in the Garden of Eden. And as we are doing this, we are also helping other people to do the same. Are you with me? That's witnessing. When we are helping other people to fulfill the 3 great blessings. That's why the true parents said, a wise person is somebody who does his own responsibility. When you finish doing your own responsibility, then you can help other people to do their own. The next point is to understand that the family is the school of love. Tradition is passed down through 3 generations living together. Grandparents, parents, and children. The family is viewed as the school of love, where 4 distinct types of love, which is the filial love, siblings love, conjugal love, and parental love, are cultivated. We study this in the divine principle, but it's not just a theory. It's something that we put in practice. It's something that should be our way of life. It should be a tradition inherited from our ancestors. We live by it and we pass it down to others, pass it down to our own children. That's why every blessed family is very serious about how can my children be blessed. You are very serious about that. Are you serious about how your children can be blessed? You have to be very serious about that, because it is about passing on the tradition that you have inherited to your own children, bequeathing to your own children what you have received. And then those your own children, they will have children also. They should have something to pass on to their own children. If they themselves don't inherit anything important, if they don't inherit, what are they going to pass on? You know, there are some people, some of our children, they don't want to go to church. They have all kinds of criticism against the church. So what? You can criticize the church all you like. But that criticism, is that what you're going to pass on to your own children? You will pass on to your own children those criticisms. Then your lineage, where will it go to? If the church is bad, then do what you need to do to set the church right, to make the church good. Then what you do become the tradition, become the true tradition. What you do to make the church right, to make the church good, become the true tradition. If you take that type of responsibility, because the critical and essential part of the divine principle is what? Human portion of responsibility is the most critical teaching of true parents, not criticism and talking. If you can pass on to your children criticism and see where they will go to, see where they will end up. If that is the tradition you want to bequeath to them. The family is the school of love. Then one world family under God, one world family under our heavenly parents. I'm talking about the internal aspect of heavenly tradition. That's why our movement, our community, our heavenly parent holy community is a global peace movement that promotes a tradition of intercultural, interracial, interreligious, and international harmony, where women are allowed to participate in leadership, and a nation of cosmic peace and unity, which is John Ilguk. This is our internal tradition. You can refer back to the Bible in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 9. The Beatitude, Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called" what? Sons and daughters of God. Peacemakers. That's our internal attitude. That's our internal tradition. We are peacemakers. That's why we organize all kinds of activities. So until the last person in this world is restored back to God, we will continue to promote peace movement, peace activities, because God will not rest until the last person has been restored unto God's side. That's why we organize all these global peace movement, intercultural, interracial, interreligious, international, all kinds of peace activities that we do. That's why we do them. We don't rest until everybody has been restored, because we are sons and daughters of God. Are you? These internal aspects of the heavenly tradition. If you are somebody who embodies this internal aspect of heavenly tradition, it shows in your life, in your activities, in your, first of all, in your mentality, in your attitude, your view of life, everything, it shows if you embody these things. Over my over 40 years of church life, and most of it, I have been in leadership position. You know, at one time I was center leader. I used to be center leader here in Port Harcourt. Another time I'm education director. Another time I'm Blessed Family Department director, vice president of the church, national leader, and so on. And I encounter a lot of members. Sometimes after the blessing, some people will come from their country to come and join their spouse here in Nigeria. And when you come from your country, you're supposed to bring a letter of introduction from your national leader. And also, your national leader needs to give you a letter of introduction to bring. So if you land in Lagos and maybe your spouse is here in Port Harcourt, where I am the state leader or the center leader for Port Harcourt, they send you, oh, okay, go to Port Harcourt. And you come to Port Harcourt and you knock my door, you come in, welcome. Oh, I am from such and such. I'm from Burkina Faso. Okay. And, okay, yeah, please, welcome, sit down, and we start talking. I don't ask you for your ID card. I don't ask you for your letter of introduction. No. I know the kind of person you are after we talk for 5 minutes. After you and I have a conversation for 5 minutes, 10 minutes is too much. I know where you are. I know where you are coming from. After I hear the language you speak, you know, divine principle, our community, we have our own language, don't we? If you don't speak our community language, even though you're speaking in English or French or whatever, but you're not speaking our community language, oh, then something is off. You understand? The way this person is sounding, it doesn't sound like our community member. What kind of member is this person? I will know by talking with you in 5 minutes. You too. Everybody, every one of us should know. You should know. It's not only me who should know that. If you are a member of the community, and you know the languages that we use, you know the things we do, you know the consciousness that all of us have. Somebody who is not flowing in that kind of consciousness, you should know. You should be able to know, this one, I'm not sure of him or her. So when you don't go to church, you don't participate in program, you don't do the things, current things, so you are not part of the custom. If we are having all the time vigil, we have hundoke, and there are new explanation, new things that are given, new directions we are told to do. And you come from somewhere, and we have been doing this, and you are not even aware of it, then question mark. You are not flowing, you're not within the community. You don't know what is going on. You are not imbibing the tradition. It's a problem. So how can you be trusted as a community member or as a family member? So that's why we must encourage, especially our young people. If we don't encourage our young people to follow and practice the tradition, they become distant and disconnected, then they fizzle away. If it happens at a large scale, then even our whole community itself is in danger. So that's why I'm bringing up this point. It's very, very important for our community. I want to summarize for you some internal attitudes, what we need to watch out for. And I finish with that. Number one, some of us will say, I am an African and I can marry as many women as I like. Is that a heavenly tradition? If you hear somebody saying something like this, if you hear somebody thinking like this, red flag, watch out. We don't do that. It's not our heavenly tradition of true parents. The first time that true father and true mother encountered African members was in 1982. Missionaries were sent to Africa in 1975. and they started witnessing and raising members. It was 1982 that those members that were witnessed to in Africa went to receive the blessing in Korea from true parents. And they have to go in person to be matched physically, face to face. True father was matching. I remember that very well because by then I joined the church in 1981, 1982. This blessing, 82 blessing took place, October 14. Our headquarters in Lagos was the meeting point for all the African members who were going to Korea. True father chartered a plane from Paris to fly Western members from Paris to Seoul. Those who are coming from Africa, they had to fly from Lagos to Paris to join the charter flight that True Father chartered to bring everybody to Korea. So that's why members from all over Africa, they came to Lagos to go to Korea. People came from Senegal, people came from Ivory Coast, people came from Niger, Mali, Central Africa Republic, Cameroon, everywhere. They went for that blessing. Before the marching itself, a big hall of all the members, thousands of members. Father was educating them directly before the marching. And Father was explaining about the meaning and the significance of the blessing, what the blessing is and what it is not. Explaining many of Father, long speech, long lecture Father was giving. And one thing that Father was making very strongly was the blessing is between one man, one woman, one husband, one wife. Okay? And Father was explaining about this because Father knows that that's our big problem here in Africa is that we think that the one man can marry as many women as they like. So Father made sure, he really made sure that he drummed into the members. Those are our elders. He really drummed into their head the idea that the blessing is between one man, one woman. That's our heavenly tradition. Everybody needs to understand that. Anybody raising any other idea is suspect. The next point to watch out for. If somebody says, after the blessing, well, I'm the man, the wife must come and join me. The wife must join the husband. Must. That's not heavenly tradition. It's not a must that a wife, according to our heavenly tradition, it may be so in Igbo tradition or Yoruba tradition or other African tradition, that may be so. But in the heavenly tradition, it's not so. There's nothing in the heavenly tradition that makes it a must that the wife must join the husband at his place. There's nothing like that. Maybe you don't know this point. I have to bring it up for the sake of clarity. I have to bring this up. Maybe you're not sure. You didn't know this. There is nothing, you can check anywhere in the tradition, in the principle. It's nothing that says that the wife must join the husband at his place. No. When Father was alive, if you meet Father the first time, there are two questions he will ask you. First question, what is your name? The next question, what is your mission? In other words, what are you doing in God's providence? What do you do for God? What does that mean? Your mission is the critical thing. So if a wife is doing a mission or has a position in her environment where she is, that is very critical for God's providence, then the husband needs to join the wife there. If it is the husband that has a critical position where he is, he has a certain foundation, a certain critical mission that he is doing, and then of course the wife should come join with him and work together with him to fulfill that mission. If it is the wife that has that foundation, that critical mission that she is doing for God before the marriage, then the husband needs to join her and they work together to fulfill that. That's the criteria. Everybody understand this point? Yes. The other aspect of internal tradition to watch out for. I had some people saying, hey, I don't want to have my blessed child to be blessed to a man from such and such country or a woman from such and such country. I don't like such and such country. I'm regional director, so I'm traveling around, right? Outside Nigeria, I have some people, I don't like my child to be blessed to somebody from Nigeria. Do you know that? Or maybe you don't know. Or maybe you two may have your own bias. of places where you don't like your children to be blessed, right? Do you have such a bias? Yes or no? If you have such a bias, throw that bias away. If you have such a bias, do what? Throw that bias away, because it's not a heavenly idea. It's unheavenly. There's no such thing that my child cannot be blessed to somebody from such and such country. I heard that they're killing people in Nigeria. So if, if my child is blessed to Nigerian person, she may die or he may die. Does that make sense? Why is it that only your child out of 230 million people of Nigeria that are living every day in Nigeria, it's only your child that will die? You don't believe in God? So there is nothing like that. These are ways in which the devil, Satan, plants some wrong ideas into the minds of people to frustrate God's providence. Another dangerous idea, a dangerous attitude is that we cannot have a woman hold such and such a high top position. Have you heard about such saying before? Yeah. In some places, some area, some people don't think that women should be national leader, or a woman should be church leader, or a woman should hold a very high important position. Anybody thinking like this, it's not part of the heavenly tradition. That's why even True Mother is being criticized, right? People who make away and saying useless things. Our True Mother is supposed to just go and stay at home and just be the wife of the Messiah. Is that just the only position of True Mother is just only the wife of the Messiah? Absolutely wrong. She is Messiah in her own right. Could True Father give the blessing without True Mother? Was it possible? Did he give? He himself, did he even give anybody a blessing without True Mother's coming? He didn't. He couldn't. Without True Mother, nobody can receive the blessing. There was no blessing before True Mother. It's only when True Mother appeared, then blessing could be given to people. So she's not just wife of Messiah. Anybody thinking like this is totally off the way. It's totally wrong. Because of this, the position of leadership, any position of leadership, if it is a woman, a sister that is available to do that mission, absolutely. And we will bow down for her, we will respect her, we will lift her up, we will give her every support. Sisters, ladies, are you with me on this? We will give you every support. We will support you. We will bow for you. Praise God. Because you have the necessary power, necessary potential given to you by God, Heavenly Parent, to do great things for God. Another point to be careful about is that, this person is not from Nigeria, or is not from here. So we cannot make him national leader, we cannot make her national leader, we cannot make her central leader, because it's not from here. We have to have our own person here. Our own, not looking by your own. Your own is who? Anybody in our community, doesn't matter which country he comes from or she comes from, can be central leader here. Are you with me? If she has or he has whatever it takes to do the mission well, yeah, we will make that person the central leader here. We make that person the leader here. Are you with me? I told you before, when Father asked people, what's your name, what's your mission? If you come here, if you are a spouse of somebody and you come here, you are coming here not only as a spouse of that person, you are coming here as a missionary. Somebody who is a missionary. Do you mistreat that person? Can you mistreat a missionary? Can you disrespect a missionary? You cannot disrespect the missionary. The missionary position, the missionary is a very serious mission, a very serious responsibility, a serious thing given to you by God, Heavenly Parent, by virtue of the fact that you have received the blessing of God and true parents. You are a missionary here. That gives the person who is here a more serious position. The fact that you are here not just as a husband or not just as a wife, you are here as a missionary. It gives you a greater authority. It gives you greater power. If you are a missionary, then you have to do really the mission serious. A missionary prays very fervently for the people. You have to pray for the people, you have to evangelize, witness to the people, love the people, turn your heart with missionary devotion. That's why missionary is the highest profession in the world. There's no other profession that is greater than the profession of a missionary. Are you with me? No other profession. That is why any profession that you are doing, and you are doing it well, people will describe you as you are doing it with visionary zeal. If you are a doctor and you are really doing the doctor work very, very well, people will say, this person is doing his doctor work with missionary zeal. It means that missionary is the highest level of devotion, is the highest level of attendance. So nobody, so long as you are a member of this parent holy community, should be discriminated against. So the person cannot be leader because not come from here, not part of our own native. That's completely satanic. That's wrong. Are you following my explanation? Everybody understand? Then the other point. Some people can, he or she is too young. This person is too young to hold such and such position. This person is too young to be national leader. Or you yourself may say to yourself, I am too young. If God calls you and say, come, be national leader, you cannot make an excuse to God and tell God that I'm too young. Can you tell God that I am too young? Look at the Bible, the people that God called in the Bible. Will they stand up and say to God that they are too young? God calls you to do a mission. You can't say that you are too young. People around you shouldn't tell you that you are too young. You are not too young. God has called you. If you are young, then all of us, this person is the person that have been called by God, anointed by God, then we all have to unite and lift this person up and raise this person up. Help this person to accomplish his or her mission given to him by God through parents. These are aspects of internal tradition, things that we should know, we should have in our mind, in our being. There are many others, but I think these points, you can think about them and digest them, okay? So let me conclude with the reading that Pastor Jerry read for us, the Undoke reading, excerpt of True Mother's speech, which is entitled, "You are the chosen and happy people." True Mother then says, using all the wisdom and investing every single thing we have in the shortest time period, we need to make all more than 8 billion people of the world become citizens of Johnnywood so that heaven can embrace them all. This must be done during your life period. Do you understand? Those who pledge to do it, raise your both hands and pledge in front of true parents. We pledge. We will accomplish it without fail. You promise me to do that? Okay, good. God bless you all. Thank you. Okay, thank you.